Sat Shri Akal to everyone. How are you all? I hope you all are doing great. As you all know, we have already discussed the major points about Philip Larkin and the Whitsun Weddings. Here we are going to read this poem and explain this poem in detail. This is the first stanza of this poem and it consists of 10 lines each, and this poem is having 8 stanzas in total. The poem starts with the line, "That Whitsun, I was late getting away, not till about 1:20 on the sunlit Saturday." Here we come to know that the poet wanted to say that on this day, the Whitsun day, it is a day when a number of marriages were taking place, because it was after the Easter day. It was actually after the festival of Easter, and the poet started his journey late, and it was about 1:20 p.m. on this sunlit Saturday that he started his journey, and the train was not fully crowded. It was almost empty. 1/4 quarters of the train was filled, and now the train left the station. Due to hot weather, all the windows of the train were down and all cushions were hot, and the sense of being late, it was not there, because it was a lazy and it was a kind of usual day on which can be expected on holiday. As the train started, the poet tells us that he could see the backside of the houses, and then it crossed over to a street. Next, he said the sunlight flashing off the windscreens, and he could smell the fish dock nearby, and thus it is showing the mix of city life, as we can see in his most of the poems. He saw the wide, calm and drifting river. Actually, he describes the beautiful countryside view where sky, Lincolnshire and water meet together. Now we are moving on to our next stanza. It is the second one, and we are going to read this. All afternoon through the tall heat that slept for miles inland, a slow and stopping curve southwards we kept. Wide farms went by, short-shadowed cattle and canals with floatings of industrial froth. A hothouse flashed uniquely, hedges dipped and rose, and now and then a smell of grass displaced the reek of button carriage cloth, until the next town, new and nondescript, approached with acres of dismantled cars. The poet says that it was a very hot and sleepy afternoon, and here he personifies sleep as if it was sleeping, and for miles inland, a slow and stopping curve southwards we kept. The train now kept moving slowly south and stopping at different stations on the way, where he could see wide farms went by, and he could see the farms, short-shaven hedges, cattle and canals with the floating of industrial froth. Actually, he compared the natural atmosphere and beauty of a countryside area with the city life, the polluted industrial type life. So he was saying the canals that even had some dirty foam from factories. Then he saw the glass houses reflecting the sunlight uniquely, and the hedges on the sides of the fields, they were falling and rise now and then, and the fresh smell of grass replaced the stale smell of the clothes of a train. And now after the countryside view, the train crossing the town, and it is not a very unique town. It's a non-descript, and near this town he saw the large area of dismantled cars. In the next stanza, the poet says that at first he didn't notice what kind of sound it was. Then he came to know that it was actually the sound that was coming from weddings. He couldn't see properly at each station because of the bright sunlight. He heard cries, laughter on those long, cool platforms, and firstly, he was thinking it was the noise of the porters who were taking the luggage from here and there, and so he started his reading and continued with his reading. But then again, he listened to that noise, and when the train passed by them, he saw some gentlemen and some girls with their suits and with their gowns. They were wearing heels and veils and with their shining hair, and they stood still on the platform, and they were watching them as the train left. In the next stanza, the poet says that the wedding guests looked like as if they were standing at the close of some big event, almost as if they were saying goodbyes. They are saying goodbyes just not to the train but also to the joyful wedding moment, which is now over. What's left behind is the serious part of marriage, the thing that survives the fun. Now the poet says that he is suddenly interested, and he leans out of the train window to watch more closely at the next station, and he was paying greater attention to the wedding crowds. And now he observes that the fathers, who were ordinary working class men, and their seamy foreheads suggest wrinkles, stress, and the roughness of the daily life. As all these features we can see in his poetry, in all of his poems, we can see all these things. And the mothers were loud and fat, and as usual, as we can see in all the family functions or get-togethers, a kind of uncle who used to make dirty jokes or laughing too much, which was showing the casual rowdy side of the gatherings. Next, he observes that the girls, they were dressed up for the wedding, and the girls have pumped hair, cheap nylon gloves, and fake jewelry, and it's a mix of effort and imitation of fashion. And the girls with lemon mauves and olive shades dresses, and those were just seemed to be not belonging to the same scene, just unreally different, like they are part of some another world. The rest of the stanzas we will cover in our next video, in our next part. Thank you very much.